Sure it was. Tell that to the cops. Who? You're not calling on me? Look at her. She thinks she got the 911 in white neighborhoods call. That's crazy. You don't have that. You in the middle of a camp. Your whiteness is not that strong. How y'all doing? It's your boy JC and welcome back to Everlasting Summer. We're back with another part. How we doing? Shake my hand, Russian gang. What happened last episode? So, it's getting juicy. Like I said, I feel like it's getting somewhere. I only have an issue that it feels like we're constantly going up a roller coaster, right? Like we're about to hit the climax. Like it's getting more juicy, and then it's like, but you see what I'm saying, where it just doesn't feel like we're getting anywhere. Now, I will admit, I'm liking some of the characters so far. I like Lena. Lena's pretty impressive as far as her development with getting more comfortable with the MC and showing her true color, because that's the important part, is like, who is these characters? Who are they? As far as the main MC's kind of plot or point, he wants to undiscover the truths, the weird things that's going on. Why is he isekai'd in this place? How is he gonna get out of this place? How he's gonna find information? Is anyone else that's in the same scenario as him in this place? Who knows? But of course, we had theories that maybe he's in a dream. That was my first theory. I also have a theory that someone's watching him, somebody. We've seen a lot of things. I feel like Miku's watching, because like Miku somehow stumbled in front of him when he was taking a shower, or taking a bath. And she tried to act like, oh no, my bad, I was trying to head to the music club, but it's like you were in a completely different route. So how did you wind up in our route? It's a little sus. And then all of a sudden, this tooth powder go missing, and then she drops some. It's like, come on, bruh, put two and two together. And then like those parts where like he's falling asleep and he hears this weird girl. It's the same girl that I think that was in his first dream when the game started. So I don't know if that has to do with anything. I don't know if this girl is there. It's like there's so many puzzle pieces that are like being brought to us. How do we connect them? If you guys have any theories, let me know. But anyway, let's get into it. I'm curious to see what's gonna happen in this one. So last where we left off, we're going to go hiking. Now I'm trying to figure out, where's our day? Did I save? Hold on, let me change the save. I don't know why I did page 5. My bad, y'all. Olga showed up and started talking instead of Genda, okay? Alright, it seems everybody's here. Great! I was so tired today that I couldn't even think about anything, so I ended up just listening to the camp leader. Yeah, my mans was sleeping. This dude has terrible attention span. Now today we'll go hiking. It is essential for every pioneer to be able to come and rescue his comrade, to offer a helping hand in the hour of need, saving them from a hopeless situation. We'll have to learn to do all these things together. A whisper ran through the pioneer crowd, suggested that most probably this truly I'm tired of reading, would end in clearing the forest several feet away from the sky. Somehow I thought so too. We'll walk in pairs, so if you haven't chosen a partner for yourself yet, now's the right time to do so. Why can't we just walk in a unit? Pioneers quickly caught on to the idea and started to match in pairs. It looked like I was the only one without a partner. Slavia was enthusiastically discussing something with Olga. Lena was with Miku. Lena! Nick was, of course, with Shurk. It might not be a bad idea to go alone after all. Semyon! The voice of the camp leader pulled me out of my thoughts. I went up to her reluctantly. I see that you haven't found a partner. Seems like it. Can I just go with her? Then you'll join Senya. She is alone too. Fine. I was struck with that special kind of despair that only a true loner can experience. Yeah, go with the other losers. I get it. I know. That was me all through high school. So it appears that I'm left with a prickly librarian that wouldn't risk spending a couple of hours with, even I was paid for it. Wait, what? What is that wording? Did I get that wrong? Although we both seem to be in the same boat now, I slowly approached Xenia. Well, I guess we'll be going together. She looked up at me. Don't you even think that I'm glad? I'm not either. I don't know why you thinking I am, or you are, said Xenia seriously. Why on earth should you feel glad? Right, I asked naively. Never mind. It would be much better if you just shut up. Bro, I literally just asked you a question, dog. I wasn't even being annoying. The most annoying person here ain't even here. And start with a U, ends with a Y. I couldn't get any better than this. She turned her back on me and followed the other pioneers. I'd rather just walk by myself. What do we need to do in pairs? I feel like somehow we're gonna get lost. This is a bad idea. I still haven't seen any special reason to walk in pairs. Anyway, we're walking on the well-trodden forest trails, and it would be quite difficult to get lost here, even if I wanted to. So out of context, or out of, just on a side note, y'all, totally unrelated with what they're doing now. I forgot to add in the intro where one of the other theories is what happened with Shirk. How did he get lost all the way to the old camp? And when he went to the old camp, why was he crazy? Why was he, it almost felt like he was like confused of what the situation was going on. Like he expected it to be a certain thing, but it didn't turn out the way it was supposed to be. Like, I don't know. I'm just curious to see what was going on there. Cause like what happened? Why was he so different there? You know, it seems like he was chasing somebody and somebody led him somewhere and he was mad that that person didn't, like, I don't know, tricked him or something. I don't know. He just got mad at somebody. It was definitely not at us, but there's something or someone that's like here, but we haven't seen them yet. Because it's just weird with the strange stuff that's going on. Anyway, we were walking on the well-trodden forest trails. Moreover, while we'd already been hiking for half an hour, we weren't rushing into the depths of the forest trying to face all of the dangers that could test our courage and harden our pioneer spirits. But instead, we're just walking around in circles, okay? However, if we take into account that Olga was our chief, this hike could be compared to a hobbit's march from the Shire to Mordor. Is that a Harry Potter influence? You know I don't read. Xenia insisted I was following her at a distance in silence, even though I'm reading right now. The librarian seemed to be perfectly okay with it. Hey, don't you know when we'll reach our destination? Our what? The place where we'll settle down and set up camp. The whole point of this hike isn't to set up a camp, but the hike in itself. You don't get it, bro. Like I just asked. Like, okay, if I don't get it, just say, yo, we just supposed to do this. Why are you so pushy and kind of rude? It seemed that I didn't understand a thing about hiking. I guess you're right, but still. I don't know. You know what? I'm just gonna walk off. I'm gonna pretend you like me. I don't even care. She replied sharply and quickened her pace. I should have been with Lena, bro. This is some bull. I caught up with her and asked, listen, why are you always so... I was about to say mean, but stopped short. I haven't done anything bad to you, and I'm not going to. She glared at me in surprise. Always so... what? Well, unsociable, kind of. Or is it something about me? Oh, cut that stupidity out already. As you wish. It's no point of talking to an incel. You know how they're built. I decided not to start conversation with her for the rest of the hike. Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna just enjoy the scenery and try not to fall asleep. At last, Olga decided to end this Sisyphean toil. It's time to halt. The place chosen turned out to be quite a large glade with a few tree trunks half circle to make an improvised arbor with the remains of a campfire in the middle. Obviously, such hikes are a tradition of this camp. I was sent to gather firewood together with the other boys. So we're going to camp. Or are we just here to just like do a little campfire? It didn't take long because there were a lot of branches and logs of various sizes are lying around. Eventually, Olga lit the fire with some old newspapers. Well, I like this track. This track's kind of good. I was eager to know what was written there, but couldn't discern anything other than Soviet symbols. Pioneers took their place on the fallen log benches and started to talk about things. Seems like the final goal of this event has been achieved. The only things missing were a pot of fish soup, aluminum cups of vodka, and a guitar. Y'all drink vodka for like campfires? That's what y'all Russians be doing? I wouldn't be surprised if these would appear somehow. What do you think about? Hey bro, you say hello. Like, what's going on? Like, don't worry about what I'm thinking. I'm thinking how to get out of here. Slavia sat next to me. Nothing special. Just enjoying the hike. I answered sarcastically. You don't look too happy. Well, I'm not about to jump for joy. Sorry about that. Okay, I won't disturb you. Appreciate that. At least you're an OG to understand that. She sat with me for a while. But after realizing that I wasn't in the mood of talking, she left me to enjoy my introspection all alone. And all I wished for was to lie down on a bed and fall asleep as soon as possible. But I was being surrounded by smoke and the useless chatter of pioneers around me instead. Right, like, I want to go to sleep, bro. They were cheering and laughing and in general enjoying this warm summer evening. On the far side of the glade, I noticed that Lena was arguing with Elisa intensely. Hey, get off my baby girl. Intensely, and Lena seemed like complete opposite of me. Slavia had to go somewhere after our conversations, it seems. Nick and Shirk were fiercely trying to prove something to Olga. Looks like the only one who doesn't belong here. Obviously we're doing the normie route, so we're just gonna pick the first option. Let's see what they're talking about. Only Lisa and Lena stood out among all this splendor. Well, of course, it wasn't quite natural for Lisa to be arguing with someone like that. But hearing Lena talk in a raised voice, came closer silently, trying to understand what was going on. No, you listen to me. Think whatever you want. I've said everything. Hold up. Lena getting that dog. She got that dog in her. It looks serious. I tried as hard as I could not to attract any attention. It looked like I'm just standing over there with no intention of listening in on them. There's nothing to think about. Everything is clear as day. Don't try to whine me with around your little finger like that. I know you too well. Why, of course you know everything. Then why won't you tell him yourself? Who are we talking about? Lena was getting angry. That alone was really weird, even considering that I didn't know what they were arguing about. It's none of your business. Elisa snorted and turned around, and her eyes met mine. Second later, Lena gave me a look as well. The girl stood there in confusion for some time. I didn't do anything. You're eavesdropping? Me? Oh, no. I was just, like, passing by. I bet on my best smile I had, but it didn't seem too much to help. By the way, today he was peeping at me. Go ahead. I got the facts. Lisa gave me a malicious smile. Lena looked at me questioningly. First of all, why would she believe this devious fox's stories? Right, I didn't peep. You know quite well that it was an accident. Ugly should be the one to blame. Sure it was. Tell that to the cops. Oh, you're not calling on me? Look at her. Like, no, you're not telling me. She thinks she got the 911 in white neighborhoods call. That's crazy. You don't have that. You would never will. You in the middle of a camp. Your whiteness is not that strong. It seems like my excuse was not working. Did you like my boobs? Alright, bro. Skip the conversation. A shiver ran up my spine. Is that true? Lena looked at me imploringly. Well, you see, it was an accident. I didn't see anything there. Yeah, I didn't see anything. You didn't? Well, I could show you again. Elisa cried in anger. I didn't know what to say. You see, I told you. No. Lena started to mumble and rushed away a moment later. Wait, what happened? I shouted after her. You see what you did? That girl is upset now. See, this is why you the villain. You get no hoes. She gave me a spiteful smile. First of all, it wasn't me who upset her. Second, I don't have any idea what you two are arguing about. I was running out of patience. Why should I tell you? Seemed like she thought our talk was over and was about to leave. I grabbed her hand abruptly. Elisa glanced at me in fear, but didn't say anything. Yeah, I was angry at that moment. Really angry. First, I was rightly enraged that Lena was upset because of me, even though I was actually kind of guilty. Secondly, I was enraged by Elisa's insolence. Third, I was so tired I was about to lose my temper at the smallest thing. Happy now? I hissed, pointing in the darkness where Lena had run off. You only seem to have the guts to bomb memorials and hurt innocent girls. She looked frightened, saddened, and confused at the same time. Yes, I'm telling you, they're just underage and not about it. She herself could hurt anyone. You just don't know her. The only truth here is that I don't know her too well, but I'm absolutely positive that she wouldn't hurt anyone. That's your job. We stood in silence for some time. I held Elisa's hand. I didn't know what to do next. Solution dawned upon me all by itself. You have to go and apologize. Why the hell should I? Elisa tried to act as arrogant as always, but it wasn't going to work this time. Because I said so. Oh, he brought out the yutters, bro. He brought out the Tims, bro. Put that foot down. I'm big boy here. I refused to hear any objections and dragged her to the side of the bonfire. Olga, I'm sorry, but we have some urgent business to deal with, so we have to leave early. The guidance officer tried to object, but I didn't listen. I headed after Lena, pulling Elisa along with me. Oh, that's that dominance. After some time, I released her hand. Any objections? All the pride and arrogance had left Elisa's face long ago. If you want me to come with you, I will, but I have nothing to apologize for. I told her the truth. We'll see about that then. I cut her short. We had been walking in silence until we entered the camp. We came to the square and I asked Elisa, where do we go next? How should I know? And who said that they know Lena well? Was it me? Elisa hesitated. Well, she could be at the island. She often goes there when she wants to be alone. Excellent. We headed to the pier. Night came down on the camp while I searched for paddles and pottered around with the ropes. On the one boat was actually missing. Okay, today's your lucky day. You get to do the several killer exercises that will build up your biceps, triceps, and other arm muscles. I say sarcastically. Are you serious? Elisa cast a fearful glance at me. Perhaps it was that was a little too rough, even for her. All right, I won't make you row, of course. That hardly sounded confident. Swinging the paddles appeared to be much harder this time. Well, that's not surprising, considering that today must have already filled my annual rowing quota. I stopped in the middle of the river to catch my breath. The camp was covered by night, a trivial and ordinary night. It was one of those nights when the dark sky, the stars, and the crescent moon don't make you feel anything special. Chirping crickets, twittering birds sound like they were all doing a dual routine job rather than performing an otherwise exciting nocturne. Staring into the darkness, trying to make out the shadowy island. How did you get to know her? Elisa shivered a little. We grew up together. I think Lena said something about that. She answered slowly after some hesitation and ended up at the same pioneer camp. What a fabulous coincidence. All these questions, mysteries, and fears that had been so well hidden so far suddenly spawned in my head. Damn, I could just throw her out of the boat and drown her right here and now. Huh? What the heck? Hey, yo? I could demand answers. Although it would be dangerous unless I'm sure that I know that what I'm doing. But still, I thought this was the time I was playing with the white pieces so I could make the first move and not just parry the blows of the opponent. So, what kind of camp is this? Elisa stared at me blankly. Where are we? Why am I here? She kept silent. Answer me, I shouted. Hey, what's wrong with you? If you want me to apologize to Lena, I'm telling you, Semyon, it's not a part of her code. How many times do I have to keep prefacing this? That's when I realized how stupid I was acting, to say the least. She could be simply uninvolved in all that stuff. And what's more, one can't lie that convincingly. Lisa's fearful expression was yet another reason to believe her. Sorry, that was all I was able to say at the moment. Yet I wanted to keep my advantage. The last few meters were really tough. You gotta hurry up or them bears gonna get you. Exhausted, I got out of the boat and laid on the cold ground. Elisa stood nearby, staring at me. I thought she was about to goad me or utter some barbed witticism, but she remained silent. I assumed she was still shocked or something. Even though it was rather dark here, it would be easier to hide in my old flat than on this tiny island. Furthermore, Lena must have already heard us as we were crossing the river. So by now it's already too late to ask Alyssa any more questions, even though I still had some. Listen, I looked at her but saw nothing. It was a dark night, and I didn't have cat eyes. Well, when we find Lena, you're gonna tell her you never wanted to hurt her feelings, and everything happened in the morning was nothing but a misunderstanding, okay? My voice didn't sound as confident as it did a couple of minutes ago, but confident enough. Although Elisa said nothing, it was clear by the look on her face that she agreed. I stood up and we went off to find Lena. Her boat was tied to a snag on the far side of the island. It's very clever of her. One wouldn't see the boat from afar. I mumbled. Well, that means she's somewhere in the trees. Let's find her. I headed into the grove, but Elisa stood still. What's up? I thought we discussed everything already. It's not that. It's just that it's dark in there. I had strained my eyes to make out her face. The grove is much smaller than my grandma's daisy garden. What is there to be afraid of? Lisa didn't answer. If you want to know what I'm thinking, I would gladly just leave you here and never know what trick you're up to. Well, she came very close to me. Let's go like this. She took my hand. I think she's just scared. I didn't expect this outcome. My cheeks turned red and hot. My breath was taken away. I could barely say anything. Bro, you getting the girls, bro, that's for sure. The whole situation didn't favor conversation, which was probably best for the best. I doubt I would be able to say anything smart. We slowly headed into the grove. In a couple of moments, I regained some control of myself. Come on. There's really nothing to be afraid of. We came here during the day, gathered some strawberries. No big deal. Just a normal birch grove. It's really nice here during the day. I added after a short pause. Lisa didn't look at me. She was staring somewhere into the distance. Well, it's up to you after all. After a few moments later, she pointed somewhere in front of us. There she is. I peered into the darkness, but I could barely see anything. We came closer and saw Lena sitting beside a tree. She was crying. Why have you come here? she asked tearfully. And you? She looked at Elisa but didn't finish the sentence. That moment, Elisa released my hand. Well, you see, I just wanted to apologize for being somewhat harsh and rude. Elisa interrupted me. Her voice regained that usual arrogance of hers. Maybe it's because she didn't want to look weak in front of Lena. But a perfect apology. Not walking the walk, are you? How clever of you to insist that I'm doing a bad thing and then do the same thing yourself. Lena switched to shouting uncontrollably. You got it all wrong. I get what I've seen. You see, girls, you're arguing again and I seem to be somehow involved in all that. But I don't understand a thing. Explain it to him. So Lena said to Elisa with a grin. There's nothing to explain. Well, maybe you will let me have a try then? Whatever. She crossed her arms over her chest and turned away. Well then, Simeon. She blamed me for pursuing you. Really? It was predictable. I'm not surprised. You're Tsundere. For a minute, there was complete silence. Lena didn't look like explaining any further. And as for me, I stood still trying to assemble the scattered pieces of the puzzle into a whole. What do you mean? Exactly what I said. It's not like that. That's not what I meant, interrupted Elisa. Of course. You've always been like this. Lena burst into tears again. Wait, how come? So, Lena likes me? And you? What about you? You're trying to convince me that it's all wrong while you're holding his hand. What? So Elisa likes me too? Was it not obvious, bro? How many animes you watch? I thought you were a Reddit dude. Elisa actually liking someone? This can't be happening. It's just, it was dark in here and so that's so much like you. You're always so arrogant, always trying to control others. But when it comes to yourself, Elisa didn't answer. I really felt like I had to say something to diffuse the situation. Hey, wait. Perhaps we just got it all wrong. This has nothing to do with you. Elisa's voice was oddly distant. Judging by the conversation, this has everything to do with me. Yes, it does. Ask her what she thinks of you, and why she told me not to go after you. I don't think Elena was actually going after me. I'm telling you. Once again, we heard enough of your story already. Lena shot up and ran away into the darkness. I stood nailed to the spot, not sure what to do next. I followed Lena now. What should I say when I found her? After all, I don't even understand what this is all about. My cluelessness and silly attempts to console her would only upset her more. Guess we better let her be alone for some time. That didn't sound very confident. Whatever. Without another word, Elisa headed back to the boat. Bro, you better press her about what she's meant. The whole way across the river to the pier was a hell of a trip. I had to stop every 10 or 20 meters to take a break. Elisa was staring at the river and didn't pay any attention to me. Well, that seems to be the first situation here in the camp that is completely beyond my comprehension. Even though ultimately it is just a trivial everyday situation. I wasn't this confused even during the all-night expedition to the old camp. After all, if you have a closer look, there isn't anything strange here at all. Lena is very shy and perhaps even introverted person, yet she's human and completely avoid normal human developments. Considering that, her reaction fits the situation quite well. Even if I don't get the source of the quarrel, it's clear as day that the girls would not behave like that if they didn't have a good reason. And as things were standing, I was that reason. The strangest part of the whole situation, hey, I'm sorry it went that way. If I only hadn't overheard your conversation. Seems like I was feeling a pathological need to excuse myself. It's not your fault at all, she said absent-mindedly. It's just that you appeared in the right place at the right time and restarted a mechanism that had stood still for a long time. I don't quite get it. Of course you don't. And actually, you shouldn't right now. You'll get it later. She cast an intense glance at me. Damn it. Why does this always happen to me? Both at school and college, trouble seems to have chosen me as its primary target. Someone blocked the classroom's door with the mop. I got written reprimand in my mark book. There was a fight, all things considered. I must have started it. Failed exam? Well, of course that's my fault, and the teacher who hates me has nothing to do with it. Even my parents always seem to prefer blaming me rather than unfavorable circumstances, a third party's involvement, or the decrees of providence. At some point, I even started to believe that somehow do attract trouble. Remember Murphy's Law? Who the hell is Murphy? In my case, it was like, if something nasty is gonna happen, it's gonna happen to me. For that reason, I always try to stay out of trouble where I could become the whipping boy. Ew. Well, judging by today, I'm not really good at it. Seems like you got a roar of some sort. You do attract attention. Surprised, I looked at Elisa. She was smiling. Looks like she can read my mind. Trouble, mostly. Who knows, who knows? She said dreamily and stared at the river. It's a wonderful night, isn't it? Just like any other one, if you ask me. I felt used up. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Just an ordinary night. Nothing special. The best moment to make our most admirable camp leader really happy. She has to know her favorite pioneer is a nasty pervert who enjoys peeking at naked girls. I'm her favorite? Something snapped inside of me again. You aren't serious, are you? Why? Of course I'm serious. She didn't look like she was joking at all. Well, suit yourself. But do you really think this is the best time to do that? Well, aren't you supposed to row? I realized that our boat was still drifting in the river. Wait, don't dodge my question. Let's get back to the camp. I'll have a moment to think it over. Getting to spend an entire night in a boat wasn't something I would aspire to. So I had to apply myself to the paddles. We barely made it to the pier. I was exhausted. Because of the rowing and because of Elisa's attempt to tell Olga about this morning's incident, I know our camp leader, her reaction would be quite predictable. So, are you actually going to visit Olga now? Are you? Why not? She gave me her most roguish smile. It's night after all. She must be sleeping already. Who knows? She might well be awake. Come on, you know the full well it was a coincidence. A simple misunderstanding triggered by ugly. No, I don't. She flung her arms up and headed to the camp. I gathered all my remaining strength and jumped up and followed her. At first I considered grabbing her arm, but then realized it might not be such a good idea after everything that had happened today. Hold on. I trudged energetically along next to her. Let's talk this over. Is there anything to discuss? We silently walked alongside each other for some time. She at least walked slowly so that I had no trouble keeping pace with her, and I was thankful for it. Hey, is there anything I can do to convince you not to tell Olga? Not sure. But, well, there is one thing. We came to the square. So what is it? Well, stop chasing Lena, for instance. For God's sake, what makes her think I'm chasing Lena? I started to lose my temper. Why are you making up such nonsense? You started that quarrel in the forest because of you. We had to go to the island, and here we go again. Enough is enough. I'm not chasing her. Uh-oh. We're clearly chasing her, but yeah, I mean, okay. I'm not gonna listen to you. What makes you think I'm gonna listen to you, Elisa? Like, I don't see how you look at her. How do I look at her? Like that. Like what? You know. She shifted her gaze but remained standing still. Hey, stop seeing everyone through your twisted imagination. If you can't stop making up nonsense stories, then at least keep them to yourself. Don't make others suffer because you and your stories. I don't care if you pick on me, but now you got Lena involved. I really lost my temper for good, but Elisa didn't answer. We sank into an unexpected silence that was broken by Elisa's sparse sobs. From bad to worse, now you are crying? Uh-oh. Have you all gone mad here? I clasped my hands in despair. Couldn't understand why Lena was crying, but seeing Elisa crying is unthinkable to say the least. Can't even see her reasoning. At any other time, I would definitely be shocked, but at this moment, I'm just too tired for that. My mind was absolutely blank. To be precise, I was so heavy and full that not even a single idea would have the chance to dwell there. If I would compare my brain at its prime to a broad highway full of speed thoughts overtaking each other and causing giant chaotic truck crashes, then it's nothing but a forgotten tiny path in the distant desolate forest, which is only used in times of absolute necessity. Elisa kept silent, and at least she stopped crying. If you really think it's serious, go ahead and tell everything to Olga. Hope it makes you feel better. Okay, I won't do it, she said quietly and turned to me. Dude, it's clear that she likes you, bro. Like, come on, dog. Like, why do MCs always do this? Her tears were all gone, but her face seemed to express how absolute sorrow at the world. I'm just feeling hurt. What hurt you? I asked her tiredly. It's always like that. She gets all the attention and always pushes me aside. I had difficulty understanding what she was talking about and decided to play along. Hope she'd finally leave me alone. That's not true. You do draw attention and people don't overlook you. I don't. I raised my eyes and looked at her. Her facial expression was a mixture of amazement and expectation. See? So, you... Wait, what? How are you happy like that quickly? Could you? All of a sudden, her voice became so tender that I flinched in astonishment. Her face turned red and she hid her eyes. So, you really think that I'm good as her? I wanted to say something like even better, but I stopped myself. Yes, I do. It seems like she didn't understand that I said it in absolutely insincerely. All right, time to sleep. You just changed like that? Oh man, we're dealing with children. Oh my god, where's the Gerber? Elisa suddenly yelled cheerfully. Now she was acting more like herself again. See you tomorrow. She waved her hand and ran away. What the heck? I sighed in relief. Well, it was over for today. Dog, we need to wake up and realize we're in a harem. This is all anime. All my remaining energy was wasted on the sprint to Olga's cabin. There was no light, so trying not to wake the camp leader, I undressed quietly and lay down. Still interesting. What did Elisa mean? And Lena? It's becoming totally unclear what is going on with them, and with me, as if we got sucked into some sort of vortex, which I started to swirl with fierce power. But what's going to happen next? Where will I be thrown then? I woke up early when Olga was still asleep. I stretched and sat up in the bed. She's still asleep? Camp leader. I felt surprisingly okay, although I should have slept through the day after what happened the night before. Quietly, so as not to wake the camp leader, I took the bag with my washing stuff and went outside. Alright, forgot to look at the clock, but it seemed like it's 6 or 7 in the morning. Oh, he woke up early. The camp was asleep. The grass was shaking off the night dew, the light fog hung above the ground, and the sun was just beginning to break through the treetops. Not warm at all yet, like the fluorescent lamp in the house across mine. You know, honestly, this reminds me of, the main character reminds me of Kyon from Melancholy of Haru Suzumiya, or like Hotoro from like Hyoka. Like just the way their character types and like the characters they have to deal with, like the cynical attitudes and like the laid back, you know, chill personality, and like how like they get angry, like when they get angry, you know. So I wonder if they took some inspiration from those shows. I took a deep breath of the tasty cold air and thought that even a night owl like me can enjoy waking up early this time sometimes. The streets of the camp were empty, of course. The water here has been cold, but today it seems like they got it from the Antarctic depths. Even my hands went numb from it. Finishing with my hygiene, I decided to walk around the camp a bit. Olga was asleep, breakfast not for a while yet, so there's nothing to do. I came into the square and looked at Ginda. The guy doesn't care if it's day or night, he's alert, right? I smiled at my successful joke and headed to that's not a good joke, Semyon, and headed to the boat shed. As I walked, I hummed a song, absolutely sure I was the only one awake here. You're probably not the only one awake. Oh, I bet it's Slavia. Watch. To my great surprise, I saw someone sitting at the pier, hanging her feet in the water. Oh, it's Alyssa. I came closer and stopped, not sure what to say. Then she suddenly turned and stared at me. Been standing here long? No. Weren't you asleep? Weren't you? She turned her back and stared at the river again. Looks like I'm not the only one in a good mood today. At least she wasn't being sassy again. I can't sleep. I see. About yesterday. You get everything, right? What exactly? Oh, for God's sake. My answer didn't seem to go down well. Alright, I did. I lied. Alright. Good. She suddenly looked straight in the eye and smiled. In that case, I have plans for you tonight. Uh-oh. Eh? May I ask what they are? You don't need to know. Well, since I'm part of them, you'll know when it's time. Can you give me a hint at least? Nope. She got up and walked towards me. A bit scared, I cleared the way. Don't do anything stupid, Elisa said, moving away from the boat shed. I wonder what she meant. And what are those plans? Interesting. I had no wish to become part of a terrorist act against a monument or anything. Besides, I was still haunted by yesterday's talk with Lena on the island. She's probably still angry, and I never managed to explain everything to her. Although I don't even know what I would say if I had the chance. I felt guilty about everything that happened, but couldn't figure out what exactly I was guilty of. The camp started to wake up. Breakfast was at least an hour away, but I had no desire to go back to the camp leader's cabin, so I decided to wait by the canteen. At least I'd be the first one there for once. Right. I sat on the steps and watched the sun rising. Sometimes it's great to just watch a new day come. I was overwhelmed with complete peace and tranquility, and there were no thoughts to tear up my brain as they usually do. I simply bathed in the warm rays of the heaven star. In any other place, circumstances, I could probably even say I was happy. Good morning. You're early today. Oh, what's up? I looked up and saw Lena standing in front of me. She's probably gonna invite me to do something. I'm gonna have to freaking pick, huh? She was smiling. You too. All of last night's events flashed before me, my eyes. Listen, if this is about yesterday, please don't. Alright, damn. I was just trying to point some things out. She interrupted me sharply. I don't know what came over me. It was all... Just forget it. She stared at me. Lena seemed much more confident than usual. Right? If only it was all that simple. There's nothing complicated about this. She sat down next to me. So close, I felt a bit awkward, but I made no attempt to move away from her. Sometimes I have disputes with Alyssa. Yeah, I realized. I see. But in this case, it happened because of me. Who knows? She answered, Alyssa thought. So that's why. You know, I'm embarrassed. Perhaps I really am to blame. Or rather, I'm not trying to say that I'm to blame, but I was trying to explain myself like a 5th grader to a teacher. Okay, don't. As I said, nothing serious happened. If you think so. You should just think about how to act from now on. Not again. I cover my face with my hands. Clearly showing that I have absolutely no idea what's going on here and that everything, to put it mildly, is very unpleasant for me. Could you express yourself any clearer? What for? She said evasively. Look, if I don't know what I did wrong, I can't do any better. I can't decide how to act, as you say. I think you'll understand. I would like to believe that as well, but... Hey, yo, don't open the door like that. How are you awake? The canteen door opens. The door suddenly flew open and Olga came out. Sitting around hungry this early, she said playfully. Good morning, Lena said merely and got up and headed inside. Shall we? Yeah, sure. We're not done talking, but the pioneers appeared out of nowhere and flooded the place. God dang. Hopefully I got first. I came here first, bit. By the time I got my breakfast, Lena was already sitting, surrounded by Miku, Xenia, and Slavia. Sadly, there were no more free... Bro, I was the first one pulling up. Did y'all just spawn in here? Is that part of your code? Feeling down and deliberately not saying hi to anybody, I headed to my favorite place in the far corner of the canteen. I chewed on my oatmeal. It was really chewy today, and washed it down with some cold tea. Then I began, ew, why would you eat oatmeal with tea? Then I began to watch the others. All the pioneers that seemed to be here. Some were chatting, like Nick and Shurik, were immersed in chewing, and some were gawping around me like me. I was just about to leave, then Ugly jumped over to my table with her tray and headed heaped with food. I'm leaving. Bon appetit, she blurted. Stealing again? I asked, openly staring at her tray. A growing body requires a lot of calories. Nah, you're never gonna grow. I hate to break it to you. Yeah, you really should grow up a bit, I whispered. What? I didn't think she heard me. Yeah, you can't hear me from this height. Nothing. I headed out. Leaving so soon? She yelled at my back and disheartened. I don't care about you. I don't like to talk to kids. I gave no answer. I'm out. So I mess with Simeon. He don't care. I should have taken the washing up stuff back in. I don't want to carry it all around all day. Besides, what am I going to do today? Nothing at all came to mind. I was such in a mood that it seemed like someone was going to show up and invite me on a journey. All right. I left the camp leader's cabin and paused for a moment. Then heard a voice calling out to me. Simeon! It was Slavia. Busy? No. Can you help me? Of course. They want to look for answers on a wonderful day like this, right? A couple of dozen hours wouldn't change my situation after all. What is it? You should stop by the Cybernetics Club. I don't know why exactly. They'll tell you everything. Man, did they just send you to be Aaron, girl? The unfortunate inventors again. Alright. Thank you. You're not the camp leader now, are you? She gave me a nice smile and ran off. So, a journey to the enemy's lair lies ahead of me. To the lair of the evil Dr. Nick and the diabolical Professor Shurik, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I pushed the door firmly and entered. Yeah, let me in here. What you need, loser? Simeon, Nick said ominously, glancing up from some contraption he had been poking with a screwdriver. Slavia sent me. I know. And? What? The second door opened and Shurik came in. Simeon. He greeted me in the same tone Nick had. Well, last time I checked, I joked. So what did you need from me? We have an important task for you. I'm listening. The nurse came by yesterday. He stopped as if he was going to continue. So? I asked carefully. So, we have an important mission for you. And what is it? I got that already. You are to deliver a package to her. Why? Why can't y'all do it yourself? Can't you do that yourselves? Infirmary is right over there. I said skeptically. We can't. Nick said, surprised. What a weird couple indeed. I see. Not another heavy bag, I hope? No, nothing like that. He smiled. Alright, fine. I carefully agreed. Hold on. What? Shirk disappeared through the door and soon came back holding something wrapped in paper. Just be careful. Alright. I took the package. If the pioneers weren't passing me the key to the pearly gates, it still looked like they were at least giving me the Olympic torch. Can I go? Of course. Nick said threateningly. Just be careful. And Shirk pleaded. Y'all a bunch of goofy balls. What? Outside, I took a good look at the package. They never told me not to open it. Although, I mean, that's my delivery fee. I gotta open that hoe. Although it would make sense to go further on. I quickly walked to the square and making sure nobody was following. Slipped into the forest. You already know at the back of your head. I stood there for a while, indecisive, looking at the package. I wonder, what's in it? Why is it so important for them? Why couldn't they just take it themselves? I had a lot of questions. I opened the package and saw a bottle of vodka. Are you serious? Why is that something to hide though? Like, who cares? No one's gonna question you and say you're drunk or something. Well, so what? Pioneers bring a bottle of vodka to the nurse. Or rather, doing it for them. Happens every day. I wrapped the bottle back up and scratched my head. This isn't weird anymore. This is just stupid. So stupid I couldn't think of one intelligent theory. I stood out there for a while longer and thought I shouldn't let a wonderful chance slip away. I quickly walked up to the camp leader's cabin. Thank God Olga was not there. I snuck inside and began to rifle through the contents of the table drawer. Bro, why won't you just give it? Like, why is it such a big deal about hiding it? If anyone's that dense to blame you because you have alcoholic contents, it's stupid. Because it's like, you don't know my situation? Soon the vodka was in a soda bottle, while in its place for some water in a plant. Bro, are you serious? Happy with my clever plan, I went out and skipped along the way to the infirmary. Bro, you was not supposed to do that. Seriously, what's so wrong about that? You almost got me into a trap. I mean, who cares? If you didn't open the package, why would anyone care? If the camp leader had seen me, dog. If anyone else had, I could have managed myself. So it was absolutely nothing. Alright. I gathered all my strength and knocked on the infirmary door. Hello, Pioneer. Hello, I have a package for you. A bottle for your armpit. I mean a package for your cabinet. What the heck? I was so euphoric, I began to talk nonsense. Ah, she said. Hand it over. I handed her the package. The nurse stuffed it in the desk drawer without looking. You didn't open it, did you? Of course not, I blurted out. Good boy. Alright, so I'll be. Go, Pioneer. Okay. I closed the door behind me and let out a sigh. I could always pin this on the crazy inventors, and in my situation I could really even use the most basic form of stress relief. I came to the square. The clock showed noon. That meant dinner was coming. A solid intention of not moving from here, and until the come and get it bell sound comes. Pioneers were running by. They were smiling and shouting merrily. Yes, the day was definitely a wonderful one. I glanced over the square and saw Lena approaching. Relaxing? Something like that. She sat by me and looked at the sky. Nice day, huh? It is. It was a bit awkward. Lena seemed different. She was not embarrassed. Her face was not red. She was confident. So about that conversation, I told you everything already. Yeah, but just forget it, if you say so. We sat a little longer in silence. I just can't not like that. So what do you think about it, Lisa? She said, ignoring my inquiry. What do I think about it, Lisa? I repeated, lost in thought. I don't really know. Why? Oh, you're just so worried about yesterday. Well, of course. But what does that have to do with it? There is a direct connection there. She laughed. Let's assume. So what? Well, she... And again, I started thinking. Really, what do I think of her? Well, she can be arrogant at times, sometimes. That's right. What else can I say? Now that I think of it, I don't know Elisa at all. The way she acts does annoy me sometimes. If you're wondering if I had any negative feelings about her, then no. I mean, she gets carried away, but everyone has their quirks. Lena stared at me. Really? Did I say something wrong? No, not really. She laughed out loud one more time, just before the lunch bell sound came. What was that supposed to mean? Alright, see you. I'm chasing you. So we gonna just reject my feelings? I didn't stop her though. Although, I had a lot of questions left. But how do I ask them? And should I? Dude, just let it come to you, bro. You ain't gotta ask nothing, bro. I got up and slowly shuffled to the canteen. There were only a few spots left, so I had to sit with Nick and Shrek. Did you deliver it? Yeah. I answered lazily, poking my fork at the buckwheat. No incidents? No incidents. What was there in there anyway? You didn't open it, did you? He stared. Answer my question, bro. What was in there? I finished my meal. I went out. I definitely opened it. I was struck by a sudden yawn. Taking a nap wouldn't be a bad idea. It's that food you've been eating. I had it in the camp leader's cabin. It felt like the summer sun was going to melt the whole planet, together with all its inhabitants. There was nowhere to hide. The sunlight seemed to reflect from every surface. Looking up, you risk going blind. Using my last bit of strength, I pulled the door handle and entered the rooms and fell onto the bed. Of course, I wouldn't expect the cabin to be really cool. But it was much better than outside. Blissfully, I stretched out on the bed and closed my eyes. Strangely, sleep deserted me, and I was overwhelmed with thoughts teeming in my head. There's another theory. A solution to a problem of how I got here. Here's an explanation of what's going on here. And here's the true form of all those inhabiting this place. I remember Lena saying, "What do you think about Elisa?" Seriously, what do I think of her? What can I think of a person I've only known for a few days? Can I just draw conclusions based on a couple of words and deeds? Although her deeds, I laughed a bit. Any relevant organization would draw the right conclusion based on the monument bombing. Still, though, I don't care. Maybe I really don't think of anything of her. Can one be interested in a person who's not interesting? Dang! No, that's some sort of absurdity. A knock on the door. Come in. I was too lazy to get up, so I just sat up a little bit. What the heck? The door opened and I saw Lisa. What a coincidence. She stopped, unsure, and stared at me a couple of seconds. I guess you were looking for the camp leader? Why would she, though? No. What's up, then? I was looking for you. She sounded calm and not aggressive at all. I caught myself thinking I was not afraid of her, and had no concerns when she behaved like that normally. What for? I want to make sure everything clear. She sat on the bed across from me. Dang! What exactly? I want to clear up any misunderstandings and miscommunications. Alright, I'm up for that. Have you spoken with Lena today? Yes. About what? Nothing, really. You're lying. She looked stiff and worried. She crossed her legs and bit her lip. You do understand I'm always assumed to be guilty whenever anything happens? Well, you're always guilty, I said thoughtlessly. I read a spark flash in her eyes, but she kept talking calmly. Maybe. But in this case, me and Lena were always like that. Even if she starts something, she's all innocent, and I take all the blame. So you're saying that Lena actually... I really don't know what you're saying. You never understand anything, do you? She fumed. This is strange. I wouldn't call myself slow. So explain. Do you know Lena likes you? She went red after those words. No. I answered truthfully. Well, now you do. Now I do. An uncomfortable silence took the room. I was processing what she said, and Lisa seemed unsure of how to continue the conversation. Lena likes me. Could I ever have guessed? Unlikely. My intuition is usually good when it's something about me. My feelings does not work at all. The weirdest thing was I accepted the news with almost no worries. Right at the moment, I was listening to Elisa, only focused on her. I could only think about the rest later. She thinks I'm gonna steal you away from her. She thinks that all the time, understand? Even though it's always the other way around. Everyone looks at her because she's such an angel, and nobody pays any attention to me. To them, I'm just a shoulder to cry on. Elisa started screaming. Look, please don't get so upset. I don't think of you like that. Of course. I had no idea what forced her to be so honest. I didn't know how to react. Moreover, I wasn't worried at all. It was like I was watching another episode of some TV series. What was going on in the room? What was on the other side of the screen? I understand this was the reasoning for all of it. But today, Lena said it was okay. That's just like her. You probably realize that she's not as quiet as she wants to seem. I started to guess. If I could do anything. Tell me. Elisa raised her eyes. Only then I did see that she's been crying. Some sort of worry stirred inside of me. I could not treat this conversation like I was an outsider anymore. Do you like Lena or do you like me? I guess I should have expected a question like that. But I just wasn't ready. Just like that. Lena is nice, of course. But Elisa had her good points too. Besides, the way she was at the moment, she could seriously compete with Lena. I don't really know you two at all. A question like that, it's difficult to answer directly. If I could say no, I would have, at that very moment. But I only had one chance for the other answer as well. I didn't know what to choose. You did want the situation to resolve itself. Of course, but why but again? Why again? Why? Look, we're going nowhere with this. Well, answer then. Her face fell back to its usual bold arrogance. I need time to think. Well, go ahead and think. Lisa stood up and abruptly headed out. Don't forget, we have plans for tonight, she said on the threshold, smiling. God dang. The door closed behind her before I could say anything. Plans? What kind of plans? The talk with Elisa left a heavy impression on me, so Lena likes me. On its own, the news could shock and startle, and I, above that, was also forced to make a choice, a difficult one, to put it mildly. And any choice I make would be a mistake for someone. If only I could refuse them both. Although I didn't like the word refuse itself. If I could just answer her with a no, it would be easier. But I knew it wouldn't work like that. After I talked to Elisa, I realized nothing would be ever the same again. It can't be, no matter what happens. And I have to make a decision. Since I rejected the no scenario, I needed to quick pick a positive solution. If, of course, I could live with it. And the choice seemed obvious, Alina. She's pretty, she's cute, she's kind. But then again, there was something about Lisa that attracted me. Uh-oh. And we're gonna stop it here. Oh boy, there's a lot going on. The whirlwind of emotions with these characters right now. Yeah, like I said, it's just a little bit more harder to, I guess, going according to the route. We're gonna obviously pick the Lena route, and it's nothing against any of the other characters or even just Lisa, but just truly we're just sticking with the route. But if I were to personally pick, I would honestly, I don't know. I mean, I think I said it before early in the playthrough. I think Alyssa is more interesting as far as like my type. Like, even though she's like tsundere to the bone, I mean, what any of these characters are tsundere, but it's just a matter of like the personality and what sticks to me. She seems very bold. Everyone has their downfalls, like Semyon said, but you know, it's just the good sides that you like. She seems like she's more active and more willing to do things, and she's looked as the person who's like rowdy or annoying and, you know, always doing bad things. But I mean, she can turn out to be a good person or turn out to be a great friend or even a good significant other if we get to that point. So honestly, seeing how we're getting closer with Elisa, I honestly would rather pick Elisa. But then, you know, you go back and you see Lena, where she's more interesting as like a character as you get to unravel who is she? Like, what is past the shyness and awkwardness? Like, who is this person? She seems like she's a good person and very determined in what she believes in, and seems like a caring, innocent person. But at the end of the day, hearing what Elisa says, like where she gets like, I don't know, it just seems like a double-sided coin, like where Elisa says something about Alina that seems like it might be true, and then Alina says something bad about Alyssa that might be true. So it's just like you're seeing both sides, but like, which side do you ultimately pick? I don't know. I'm assuming they're gonna make us pick by the end of the day, so I'm gonna have to pick Alina, honestly. I mean, unless you guys think I should do otherwise, but I'm just trying to chase the Lena route, to be honest. You know, we're just doing routes at this point. But honestly, I might be swayed. Who knows? I mean, like, I personally would probably pick Alyssa, to be honest, maybe. Yeah, what do you guys think? As far as theories goes and everything else goes, there's just a lot of things still unanswered, and I don't know if we're ever gonna get those answers, but we're slowly getting somewhere. So I do like that we got some development with the characters, and we got some kind of like clarity of like what the heck is going on, you know, like what are these relationships? So yeah, let's see what's gonna happen. Either way, y'all stay blessed, keep your head strong, and I'll see you. Peace.